If you quit New World back in 2021, you are not ready for what it looks like now. I sunk 400 hours into New World back when it launched in 2021. And back then, it was a hype-fueled mess with massive player counts, endless queues, and a game that couldn't quite decide what it wanted to be. And like many others, I put the game down and didn't look back. But 4 years later, with the Angry Earth expansion going free for anyone that owns the game and a little curiosity about Season 10 creeping in, I decided to reinstall. And what I found didn't just surprise me, it kind of shocked me. This wasn't the New World that I remembered playing. I logged back in on my original character, expecting at least some familiarity, but instead I was completely lost. I didn't know where I was, I had no clue what I was supposed to be doing, I couldn't remember half the icons on the screen. I spent a few minutes just wandering around aimlessly, trying to reorient myself, before realizing I needed a reset. And not a permanent one, just enough to understand what had changed. So I made a new character and on a different server since my usual one was full, and even though I didn't stick with the fresh start, it gave me a glimpse into the revamped early game experience. The character creator still feels like it belongs in 2015, but once you get past that, the new player experience is shockingly better. The tutorial feels familiar but more streamlined, and once you step out into the world, you can tell that everything has been rebuilt with a much better, clearer sense of direction. It's a great starting point for completely new players or even returning ones who feel too overwhelmed to jump back in where they left off. But for me, I went back to my original character because that's what I think most returning players would want to do. Pick up where they left off, and see if the world they once knew is still worth exploring. I quickly realized that leveling from 60 to 70 has become significantly smoother. There's now a main storyline that actually carries you from zone to zone, something that was completely missing or just poorly implemented back at launch. And while I skipped most of the cutscenes to focus on leveling, the structure and the pacing of the quest made the journey feel much more cohesive. There were no confusing gaps, no bouncing around the map without purpose. Everything flows naturally from one area to the next, giving you a real sense of progression. Leveling in general feels far better now. It's no longer just kill, loot, and repeat. You've got puzzle mechanics, interactive objects, and dynamic world events that break up the grind. There are moments where you kick crates into the ocean or blow up rowboats, which might sound silly, but actually help make the world feel more alive. There are also these soul trials, there's solo instance boss fights that add a layer of challenge and variety to the experience. Just following the golden path alone can take you all the way from 60 to 65, and with the new cap at 70, that gives you plenty of momentum to keep going. Mounts also become a factor as you progress. Since they weren't a part of the game at launch, I didn't get to experience them until I got the Angry Earth expansion. And once I did, the difference in travel speed was instantly noticeable. Mounts now come with their own trade skill progression, which means you can level them up, equip gear, and take part in timed riding challenges scattered throughout the world. It's not just a travel mechanic anymore, it's another system, layered into your character's growth, and gives you one more reason to explore the world more efficiently. Brimstone Sands was my next major stop, and I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I'm normally not a huge fan of desert biomes, but this one has just enough visual diversity and event density to keep things interesting. Loot drops are satisfying, especially during chest runs, and the narrative picks up cleanly from where the main story leaves off. It's a strong example of how the world's game building has improved. And then there's the Aeternum Wilds, the zone formerly known as First Light. If you remember it from launch, you'd barely recognize it now. It's been completely transformed into this vibrant, overgrown biome filled with fluorescent wildlife and twisted remnants of the old zone. It's eerie, but also the most beautiful area in the game right now. As for endgame content, it's way more robust than it used to be. You have mutated dungeons, repeatable soul trials, seasonal objectives, and elite trials. There's also PvP, though open world encounters are rare. Structured modes like Outpost Rush, 3v3 arenas, and the newer Capture the Flag format keep things competitive. It's not the deepest PvP system out there, but it's engaging enough to keep you going. For a returning player, there's no shortage of content, and honestly, it feels like there's hundreds of hours worth of systems I haven't even scratched yet, especially with crafting, gathering, and refining. Season 10 feels like a shift in the right direction. With the level cap going up to 70, new zones like Night Vale, and features like the Catacombs, it feels like they're finally focusing on giving longtime players something meaningful to do. And if New World had launched in this state, we'd be having a completely different conversation about its place in the MMO genre. Coming back to New World after 4 years away has been surprisingly worthwhile. It's still not a perfect game and has plenty of room to grow, but if you already own it and it's sitting somewhere in your Steam library collecting digital dust, now might be the best time to log back in and see what's changed. You might be surprised by how much there is to actually enjoy. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you viewing this video. If you liked, go ahead and comment, subscribe, share, link it to your best friend, post it in your Discord, whatever you gotta do. From me to you, Darth Trooper, out.